This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. TV party tonight! TV party tonight! TV party tonight! TV party tonight! We're gonna have a TV party tonight! Alright! We're gonna have a TV party, alright! Tonight! We got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews. All our friends are gonna hang out here tonight. All right. We'll pass out on the couch. All right. Tonight. We've got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews. Don't talk about anything else. We don't wanna know. We're dedicated to our favorite shows. Saturday Night Live. Monday Night Football. Dynasty. Friday. No TV party tonight.
Time to try defying
Greetings all, I'm
gravity.
Kao Khan, and with me once again is my son.
Hi, I'm Kao Khan.
And welcome into the Idiot Box, where we take a look at television of the past and present and try to figure out where things went so horribly, horribly wrong. It's Christmas time once again, and naturally our thoughts turn to friends, family, celebration, and of course, animated TV specials.
I know, that's what I'm so excited about. So what are we looking at today? Charlie Brown, Garfield, Rudolph,
Opus
Opus.
and Bill.
Opus and Bill... Who?
Opus the Penguin and Bill the Cat made their debut in the nationally syndicated comic strip Bloom County by Berkeley Breathed, which ran in newspapers across the country from 1980 to 1989. This was followed up by a spin-off Sunday-only strip entitled Outland, which ran from 1989 until 1995. Shortly after this, Breathed retired from cartooning, but it didn't last. 8 years later, a new strip, Opus, began running in 2003 until 2008 when Breathed retired again, stating that he figured tough times were ahead for the U.S. and he wanted to end the strip with his most popular character on a high note before things got too depressing.
So there was a comic strip, and this special is based off of it?
Well, not quite. 2 years after Outland began, Berkeley Breathed started doing a series of kids' picture books, and the first of these featured Opus in a Christmas story entitled A Wish for Wings That Work. And that's what this special is largely based on.
Wait a minute. I have that book, and it's only about 30 pages long. It seems like that would be a really short special.
And this is where adaptation comes into play. So with that, let's take a look at Opus and Bill's only animated outing in A Wish for Wings That Work.
We open on Christmas Eve, where Opus is writing his letter to Santa Claus.
I need new wings. Not fancy wings. Just plain Jane, low rent, barely bent, homegrown, bare bone, off the shelf, 2-part Kmart, no frills flappers. They would be an improvement over my own. As your record should show, I am a bird. Specifically, a penguin. An embarrassing accident of birth, for which I do not blame my mother. I prefer to blame Congress.
Wait, Congress?
The original comic strip did a lot of political satire, and this is kind of a holdover. Plus, you have to admit, it's nice to see somebody blaming Congress for something these days.
We flash back to earlier in the day as Opus attempts to get off the ground, and we get our first real look at Bill the Cat.
What the heck? What's with the cat?
Bill's kind of a blank slate. He was originally created as a parody of Garfield and kind of became an all-purpose gag involving the more disgusting habits that cats have.
No cats, especially no Bill the Cats!
Fly, 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 fly.
And like 1,000 mornings before this one, it was plain that a penguin can say the word fly, but he simply cannot do it. Why don't penguins have wings that work? This? They call this a wing? This is a bad joke. This is built-in obsolescence. I'm an Etzel. I might as well be a dung beetle or a fly-infested, worm-infused, molded, mildewed scrub of rotten banana. Or a network executive.
Oh, come on, Opus. There's no need for that kind of attitude.
Yeah, a flightless waterfowl is way higher on the food chain than a network executive.
Opus and Bill head back to town as...
Wait, try that again.
My foot down on my shoes, I got those flightless earthbound blues.
What kind of walking animation is that? I mean, I get Opus is supposed to be waddling in Bill's... Bill, but that just looks awkward.
No, it's not that awkward.
I bet you $20 it is.
You're on.
I woke up this morning, my wings ain't no use. My foot down on my shoes, I got those flightless
Moving on.
As they walk into town, Opus gets teased by a trio of snow ducks.
any resemblance to an old Hollywood comedy trio is completely deliberate.
Look, I'm a bird. Oh, I have slipped the soily bonds of earth.
Honey, I'll be taking lunch on the moon today. What's the red thing on the neck? Turboprop? So where's the exhaust? Don't answer that.
Note the mighty wings. I suspect they sputter more than flutter.
They're obviously jealous of my nose. Anybody would be.
Not us.
Entering the downtown area, Opus encounters Truffles the pig, who is having an identity crisis of his own.
Good morning, Truffles.
Merry Christmas, Opus! Always a pleasure to run into someone lower on the food chain. Did you know you have a large rutabaga on your nose?
This is my nose. Excuse me, I'm late for my support group.
Surely you're not persisting in your flights of fancy, huh? Oh, myself, I am perfectly comfortable with my self-image. Oh, you would not see me trying to fly.
I hope not. You're a pig.
Rhinoceros.
Pig.
Rhinoceros!
Pig. P-O-R-K. You know, the other white meat.
How about a water buffalo?
Opus arrives at his support group, which is being hosted by another Outland character, Ronald Ann.
Outside, and please try not to give anybody rabies.
You're late, Mr. Opus. Everyone's waiting.
There was a rhinoceros on 2nd Avenue.
Save it. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome a new member to our group. Opus, please introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Opus, and, I am a flipaholic.
Hello, Opus.
So far, we've seen lobotomized cats, delusional pigs, and self-help groups for flightless birds. How is this a Christmas special exactly?
Well, this is all going to lead up to the climax, which is going to feature...
Albatross! Just be glad your wife didn't leave you for an albatross!
Good, George. Confront your feelings.
My puny kiwi wings weren't good enough for Dolores. No. She had to have an albatross! With great, big, long wings! He was on hormones. You heard me read my beak. Hormones!
Maybe we shouldn't be confronting those particular feelings.
So the entire support group meeting pretty much descends into anarchy and...
Excuse me, is this cockroach cross-dressed as in crisis?
What are you doing?
Making a list of all the things I'll tell my future therapist traumatized me as a child. Cross-dressing cockroach.
Left with no other options, Opus decides to take to the air with some additional assistance.
Predictably, thanks to Bill, it doesn't work out, and after crashing, Opus finds he's had enough.
Alas, Father Christmas, my brief career as an aeronautic vigilante was over, as was my patience.
That's it. My cup runneth over with cats. I need cats like I need butt implants. You still smell like Brussels sprouts, and look at you. You have hair growing out of your eyeballs. You lay around the house eating small rodents like ding-dongs, and you
barf on the Chinese rug.
Barf on the Chinese rug.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lament of every cat owner everywhere.
As the last resort, Opus finishes his letter to Santa and faxes off before turning in for the night. Wait, how do you get Santa's fax number?
A mystery that will never be solved, because as we're about to see, Santa's going to have some troubles of his own.
That's not Santa! That's some Bond villain out to steal Christmas!
Wrong special, son.
Turbulence.
Well, Santa's dead. Christmas is canceled. Thanks for watching. What?
Father making inappropriate jokes about death of childhood legends.
When we fade back in, what the...
Odd. We seem to have picked up the 1942 film Lost Horizon.
Well, fix it!
I'm working on it. That's weird. The readings say this is the right feed.
Fenner's the best pilot in China. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, it's Fenner.
But he might have lost his way.
Of course, that's what I told him last night. You can't expect a man to sail around in the dark.
All right, calm yourself. I'll speak to Fenner. Fenner! I say... Bart, wake up. Something's happened. It isn't Fenner in the cockpit. The bloke up there looks like a Chinese or a Mongolian or something.
What?
Ah, there we go.
We don't keep the macadamia nuts up here. Talk to the stewardess. Gotta go. I've got a Douglas DC-3 to fly.
It's a penguin.
I can fly this thing. I can fly this thing. Left foot, left rudder. Starboard stabilizing ailer tutor. Ailer tutor? Ailer tutor? Ailer tutor? Good evening. This is the captain speaking. If anyone knows where the starboard ailer tutor is on a DC-3, would you please press your call button now? Starboard ailer tutor! Starboard ailer tutor! We're going down. Why are we going down? Why are we going down? We're going down because penguins can't fly.
Oh, it's a dream. Well, that makes sense. Kind of.
In any event, the snow ducks show up and drag Opus outside, saying there's an emergency.
Cataclysm! A considerable setback. A Yuletide debacle, pure and simple. Come with us. No time! Help!
Okay. Let me just gargle.
Superfluous. Needless. Spread out. Out! Yeah! His stern. His rudder. Look! It's replaceable, like a tire. Look there.
This is a fraternity prank, isn't it?
No, look!
You're gonna steal my clothes and leave me naked outside Albuquerque.
Does that actually happen in fraternities?
I wouldn't know. I never joined one. Although there was that one rush week in college with the swimming pool full of raspberry jello and the crate of live ferrets.
Opus sees Santa stranded in the middle of the lake and quickly goes off to rescue him.
And it's here that we see why penguins are built the way they are.
Yo, that's cold!
You seem to have mislaid your hat from your head. I would be honored to have you wear mine instead.
Oh!
I see no penguins here whose wings merely spatter. Tonight it was courage that flew yours beyond others. Time to fly, son.
Boys, let's go!
So, Santa jumps in his sleigh and begins to take off. And
Wait!
What?
That's it? Opus finds he can essentially fly through water and never actually get to fly through the air? What kind of an uplifting Christmas ending is that?
Well, hang on. There's still 3 minutes left.
The next morning, Opus gets another knock on the door and a surprise from the snow ducks.
Holy buckets, that's a lot of ducks.
Well, you need them if you're going to do this.
Wait. Stop. No. Wait. Whoa!
Primus was coming through.
Yes! So, last night, who exactly was it that suggested coming to me? Hey, Billy boy! Come on! You're falling behind, hairy butt! I'm flying for you, too! Bill, it's wonderful up here! I'm flying!
Unauthorized takeoff! Pull up! Don't suck a duck into your turbines!
An albatross! Suck up an albatross! Yeah!
This is totally unnatural.
Excuse me, but I simply must fly.
And that's a wish for wings that work.
That was the most deranged Christmas special I have ever seen.
What, you didn't like it?
I didn't say that.
While there's a lot of really goofy stuff in here, it's all pretty funny. The storyline about Opus achieving his Christmas wish was a lot of fun, and the ending still managed to be both touching and humorous.
It's an unusual special to be sure. And if I'm being fair, while most of the animation is phenomenal, there are a couple of places where the timing is off, particularly where mouth movements don't match the voices. Speaking of voices, the cast here is excellent, with veteran voice actor Michael Bell providing the right mix of humanity and cartoonishness that the voice of Opus needs. Joe Alasky does great work as the voices of Truffles and the Snow Ducks, and there's even 2 uncredited appearances by Robin Williams as George the Kiwi and Dustin Hoffman as the cross-dressing cockroach.
Overall, this is a great holiday special if you're looking for something different and a touch goofy to watch during the season.
Were there any more specials with Opus and Bill?
Not really. Berkeley Breath really did not like this special when it came out. He cited a number of reasons, mostly low ratings, the fact that he thought the director was in over his head, and mostly he settled on the excuse that he doesn't feel that his artwork translates well to other mediums. I personally disagree, but when the creator of a work decides to put his foot down, things tend to pretty much end there. Fortunately, Universal has released the special on DVD, and it's available fairly cheaply at a lot of places. It usually crops up at like Walmarts and Targets and so on during the holiday season. We both recommend that you check it out.
Cool. Let's go spend this $20 on something.
Oh, come on. Give me a chance to win it back.
Like what?
Snowball fight to the death?
You're on.
Good. I'm Dubious Khan.
And I'm Kao Khan.
Join us next time for another trip into the Idiot Box. Start running.